so annoying to get used to.
Yeah.
It blinds you and you have to look straight at it. It's like, oh God.
Yep.
And just hope you don't look cross-eyed when you're on the camera.
I stopped worrying about looking at it.
I'm thinking about it because of how much my daughter thinks about it. I could care less. Honestly, could care less.
Okay, so I'm adding that now.
Alright, you do that.
Bro,
36.
Why would you do that?
I've never seen a remote control.
It's all so nice.
I'm not touching it.
Imagine, I'm not touching it.
Nah, I'm all messed up.
Oh man.
I'll be all messed up.
Nash, I'll do it at the end.
Quick reminder, you'll say staff team and you say
I might as well just do these two. I might as well do the active card and the step thing.
yeah, I mean, if you want to do both of them, that's cool.
So just go in order. Who's doing the first two? Yeah. And I do the last two. Yeah. Last three. What do you want me to do? The last
month and the
Stetson.
Stetson.
You talk about the project.
What's that? What's that?
That's just wood cross.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. Good evening. Oh, you got to put that down. Good evening. And welcome to the West Orange Board of Education Public Board meeting of June 6, 2022. I would like to welcome our student liaisons, Bara Meritu, Rhoda Oni, and Adrian Ampadu, and all of our board members, and Dr. Schoen and Mrs. Flowers. Thank you all for being here tonight, and for those of you joining us here in the audience, and for those of you who are watching from home, welcome to all of you as well. We have a special night tonight, one of our favorite nights, with our parade of honors that recognizes all that's fantastic here in West Orange. Ms. Flowers, would you kindly take the roll call?
Good evening, everyone. Roll call. Mrs. Huerta,
Here.
Mr. Rock, Mr. Stevenson,
Here.
Vice President Rothstein,
Here.
President Tunnicliffe.
Here.
Thank you. Notice of meeting. Please take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner: that a written notice was sent from the Office of the Secretary of the Board at 4 p.m. on January 7th, 2022. That said notice was sent by regular mail to the West Orange Township Clerk and the editors of the West Orange Chronicle and the Star Ledger. That said notice was posted in the lobby of the Administration Building of the Board of Education. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Flowers. And now we turn to our student liaisons. Bahram and Adrian, would you please share your liaison report with us?
I'd love to. So first, starting off, we'd like to give a big shout out to the girls lacrosse team here at West Orange High School, who cinched their first playoff berth and first county tournament game. They have also won the most games in program history this year, while being led by the new head coach, our 7th grade social studies teacher, David Perez. In addition to that, Dylan Wilkes had her 200 career goals and 200 career points. Antonia Cambolis had 100 career saves, and Stephanie Andrade also had another 100 career saves. So if we could just give a nice big, yeah.
We are also very proud of our golf team, who had a winning record going 14-3 overall. They were also Liberty Division co-champions and tournament champions. So let's give it up for our golf team. I'd also want to offer just a quick reminder that the first ever West Orange High School Short Film Festival will take place here on June 16th.
Moving on from there, we also successfully celebrated Senior Awards Night on June 2nd, where the West Orange Scholarship Fund awarded over $140,000 to 142 seniors.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rhoda Oni, and I'm part of the liaisons. Lastly, we would want to wish everyone a happy Pride Month, as we all aim to become more accepting and inclusive individually as a whole. And lastly, on May 28th, our boys and girls step team went and won both 3rd and 6th place in the National Youth Step USA competition, which I'm the captain of the girls step team. So, and thank you. And we will be competing once again, finally, our final competition in Maplewood, New Jersey on June 18th. So any details you can look on the West Orange School pages and come out and support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to back up a minute here and ask, in consideration of the closed and public meeting of May 17th and May 23rd, 2022, do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Seeing no comments, Ms. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Mrs. Huerta?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein?
Yes.
President Tunnicliffe?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Schoen, would you like to give your superintendent's report?
I would, outstanding. Good evening, everyone, and it's so wonderful to see you all. This is the moment we've been waiting for, so if I could kindly ask our board members to please sit in the front row, Vice President Rothstein and President Tunnicliffe, if you'd come up on stage with me. So once again, everyone, good evening. Welcome to our Parade of Honors, everyone. I've been looking forward to this night for a while. For those of you who do not know me, I have the honor of serving as your interim superintendent of schools, and this evening being a part of the 10th Parade of Honors in our district. While individual accomplishments and those of many groups have been recognized historically at board meetings, in December of 2017, the board began recognizing outstanding achievement of the many students and staff at public board meetings. This recognition event would become a biannual recognition event and was so appropriately renamed in the 18-19 school year as our Parade of Honors. Tonight, I have the wonderful opportunity of honoring 9 members of our Region 1 Chorus. Our high school had more students selected for the Region 1 Chorus than any other high school in northern New Jersey. I'd like to introduce Mr. John Hellier, one of our West Orange High School choir directors, who can tell us a little bit more about our students' audition process and call up our students to the stage for their performance with us tonight. Mr. Hellier.
Thank you. The students recorded an audition virtually due to the pandemic that consisted of singing 2 diatonic scales and 1 chromatic scale. If you don't know what that means, take a music theory class. We offer them here at the high school. They also needed to sing a solo song that was chosen for them by the adjudicators and do some sight reading. As Dr. Schoen said, we had 9 students make it in, and that was more than any other high school in northern New Jersey, which is actually the most densely populated of the 3 different regions in New Jersey. So it's a little bit more competitive. So I want to call those students up here, and then we are going to sing a song for you. They are, in order of how they're standing, Dave Jocelyn, Ben Jethro Pierre, Jonathan Vincent, Aiden Lugo, James Tebang, Justice Wheatley, Maria Naliath, Elena Haas, and Brianna Anderson. The song we are going to sing is a 16th century madrigal called Sing We and Chant It.
Sing we and chant it, for love doth grant it, fa la 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 la, fa la la la. Sing we and chant it, for love doth grant it, fa la 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 la, fa la la la. Not long youth lasted, and old age hast it, now is best leisure to take our pleasure. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Not long youth lasted, and old age hast it, now is best leisure to take our pleasure. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. All things invite us now to delight us. La 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 la, fa la la la. All things invite us now to delight us. La 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 la, fa la la la. Hence care be packing, no mirth be lacking. Let's spare no treasure to live in pleasure. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Hence care be packing, no mirth be lacking. Let's spare no treasure to live in pleasure. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la.
There we go. And Maria. And all right. And James. Congratulations, James. Jonathan. And Justice.
Congratulations. We're going to take a picture. Everybody's got a smile. Hold up.
Okay, at this point, please join me in welcoming our board president, Ms. Jen Tunnicliffe, who will be presenting the Mountaineer Trailblazers Award on behalf of our Board of Education. Ms. Tunnicliffe?
Thank you, Dr. Schoen. I would like to invite Ms. Suzanne Pennell to the stage to join me for this presentation. Her son is Dylan Pennell, of whom this award is named after.
Hi, good evening, everyone. In the fall of his 8th grade year, my son Dylan attended a Board of Education meeting, and he proposed that West Orange High School should have a junior ROTC program. Well, members of the board challenged my son to circulate a petition to see if there was any interest in the student body. Well, when he next appeared before the board, not only did he have over 150 8th grade student signatures on his petition, but he also had the support of assistant principal at the time, Hayden Moore, teacher major Paul Tavarone, administrators, board members, and local and state government officials. Dylan wrote letters to New Jersey's US senators and representatives and to military officials in Washington, D.C. to gain their support. And finally, after 4 long years, the Mountaineer Squadron was introduced at West Orange High School at the beginning of the 2013-2014 school year, and my son Dylan was named the first squadron commander. He never gave up. He worked above and beyond to see his dream a reality, and that is the basis of this award, the Mountaineer Trailblazer Award. When I learned who was chosen to receive this honor this year, I was thrilled and honored. For what Marley Dias has dreamed, worked for, and accomplished so far in her young life is really quite extraordinary, and it exemplifies a trailblazer in every sense of the word. I truly wish my son could be here tonight, but he's a nuclear officer in the United States Navy, and you don't get off on Monday nights to come back to New Jersey. But on his behalf, Lieutenant Dylan Pinnell and my husband and myself, I'm so proud to be here tonight, and I'm extraordinarily honored to stand here with all of you this evening.
Thank you, Suzanne. For those of you who may not know about our honoree tonight, when the board was considering the candidates for this particular award, there was no shortage of worthy students here in West Orange High School, but one candidate rose to the top of the list, and that is Marley Dias. Marley is no stranger to trailblazing. In elementary school, when she was only 11, she became frustrated with the lack of representation in books that she was assigned, so she launched a campaign, 1,000 Black Girl Books, with the goal of collecting and donating 1,000 books with Black female protagonists. She collected these books and received support from folks around the globe. These books were eventually donated to schools in Jamaica, Philadelphia, Newark, and West Orange. The campaign also had a positive effect of all the schools in our district, as we needed to take a closer look at our collections and ensure they were representative of our diverse community. Then, when she was 12, she signed her first book deal with Scholastic Books. Her book, Marley Dias Gets It Done and You Can Too, was released in 2018. Her book focuses on youth activism, social justice, and using social media to make positive changes in communities. Her book provides a blueprint for young readers to make lasting changes. But we're not done. At 15, she became the host and executive producer of the Netflix series Bookmarks, Celebrating Black Voices, a collection of 12 5-minute episodes featuring Black celebrities and artists reading children's books by Black authors that highlight the Black experience. She has also received several prominent awards. In 2017, she was awarded the Smithsonian Ingenuity Award. In 2018, Marley was the youngest member of the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, and she was also listed as Time Magazine's list of 25 most influential teens in 2018. So with accomplishments such as these, it's no surprise that Marley will be attending Harvard University this fall. Marley, thank you for continuing to inspire us all to action. On behalf of the West Orange Board of Education, we are pleased to present you with the Dylan Pinnell Mountaineer Trailblazer Award. Please come accept your award.
Okay, moving on at this point, congratulations to all so far. Please join me in welcoming West Orange High School's acting athletic director, Mr. Steph Sakella.
Good evening. Congratulations to everybody for being here today and all of our individuals that we're honoring. Tonight we honor 3 athletic teams for their championships. In the fall, we had our county championship soccer team, girls soccer team that we honored, and tonight we honor 3 wonderful accomplishments by 3 of our sports teams, and they were one in the fall, our cheerleading, our boys tennis team in the spring, and also our golf team this past spring. Before we do so, I just want to thank Dr. Schoen for her attention to detail. She's been here for just seems like just a few moments, but her wisdom, guidance at this time has been, we've been very fortunate to have it. So this is beautiful. Thank you very much, Dr. Schoen, working closely with you. It's a beautiful night. And the Board of Education takes a village, but your support for all of our athletes and our athletic programs and all our children, it goes a long way. Tanya Flowers, the work you do behind the scenes for us really means and matters a lot. Mr. Moore, the principal, without you, we'd be lost. You love every single one of your children and inspires all the staff to really work and make it extra special for our kids. That said, what I'd like to do is I'd like to honor first our boys tennis team. I'm going to call on the head coach, 2005 graduate, 2006 graduate Jeffrey Mazurek. He's a coach for our boys tennis team, girls tennis team, a wrestling team. As he's making his way here, he's won championships on the wrestling mat as a wrestler, and just really led our tennis program to prominence in Essex County. So he's going to call our wonderful boys tennis team one by one. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Just want to say he was right the first time, 2005, not 6. Just want to say thank you to the board, Dr. Schoen, Principal Moore, Mr. Zakella, for all the support. The way you support athletics here is second to none, and I know we all appreciate everything that you do for us every season. First, another thank you goes to my assistant coach, Sebastian DePino. Sebastian, you could come up here too. You know, without him, be a lot more difficult to coach these kids. He's one of the best coaches that this school has to offer. He also coaches girls soccer and just does a fantastic job with our athletes. So thank you to Coach DePino also. The 2022 boys tennis team had an outstanding season. We finished with 15 wins, 6 losses, 8-0 in our division, and we captured Super Essex Conference Division Championship this year, the second one that second championship team I've coached on the boys' side. So I'll call up our athletes now, those that are here tonight. First person, our captain, Max Fishkin. Come on up, Max. Nico McCormick. Tyler Green. Marcus Oshiro. Rishi Kuriakos. Nikhil Prasad. Brandon Chen. Kyler Rosen.
Congratulations again to our boys tennis team. Now we'd like to honor our Super S's Conference Colonial Division champs at the Cheer for a Cure. And to do that, we're going to call on our very talented and beautiful Ashley Rhodes to do so. So let's welcome Ashley to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Like Z said, Mr. Zakella said, I'm Ashley Rhodes. I'm going to call up our other assistant coach, Gina Paserchio. Come on down. We had a great competition season. We were more of a local competitive team this year, but like Z said, we were SEC Colonial Division champs at Cheer for a Cure, which occurs every October at Bloomfield High School. And it was great for us this year. We're always neck and neck with Bloomfield High, and we were able to take first place this year. So the girls, yeah, thanks. We had 12 girls. It was an uphill battle. We had a lot of injuries. A lot of girls had to step up, and they really did. They put on a fight, and they came in first. So I'll go ahead and call them up. We have Kara Beluzzi, Heaven Berger, Julianne Campanella, Alexa Diaz, Nikayla Green, Jamie Harris, Amaya Holmes, Neela Lamar, Lillian Rinsler, Isabel Rivas, Jamison Tenzer, and Madison Williams. Sorry, I've sped through their names.
The spirit that these ladies brought to our school and so many of our sports teams, it just means a lot to us. So they're recognized as champions on the field that night, but they're champions in the classroom and throughout the school. The next coach that I'm going to call up, I call him a young man because we started at the same time, so it makes me feel a little younger. He's a sensational mathematics teacher at the high school. He took over the golf team a couple years ago, led our hockey program a decade or so ago to great heights. And for the first time ever, when a team wins a championship of either the conference or the county, we buy them a banner. We've been deprived since 1984 of a golf championship. And with the fine work of our boys and girls and this coach, they won the Liberty Conference, the division of the SEC. So without further ado, Coach Tom Gargiulo.
Everybody's looking at you.
I'd like to start off by just thanking the parents. Every time we do these things, the kids get honored, but the parents always kind of get left behind. And you are so valuable to making everything work here. So I'd like to give a hand to the parents. I'm a parent too. So as you heard, we had a pretty good season. We went 14-1 in our division. Yeah, it was good. And we won the Liberty Division tournament, and we had a lot of golfers get individual honors, all division. We actually had an all-state golfer. Just a killer season. We're really, really proud of what they did. But the thing I'm the most proud about them is they represented West Orange with grace, and they showed a lot of respect for the game. They showed a lot of respect for courses, and they showed a lot of respect for their fellow competitors, and I was really proud of that. This is the thing I was most proud of. So let's have a hand for them. I'm gonna call them up right now. We got Brett Davner, Samantha Galantini, Caleb Gattens, Eitan Nativ, Seamus Osulawan, Jackson Prisarnical, Micah Pryor, Andrew Raymond, Charlie Saunders, and Ethan Schwartz. 2022 Liberty Division champs.
Moving along in the program, I'd like to call up our principal of the Betty Madalena Early Learning Center, and that's Miss Connie Salambino.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out this evening. The Betty Madalena Early Learning Center's Outstanding Achievement Honor goes to Ms. Jisoo Ann. Jisoo, where are you? Stand up. Miss Ann came to BMELC at the start of the pandemic as a brand new teacher and without any special education teaching experience. She not only had to adjust to remote teaching, but to figure out how to do that for a diverse group of young students with special needs. Over time, Ms. Ann studiously collaborated with our teachers to learn the specialized techniques needed to work with our unique learners. She not only teaches music and movement in the classrooms, but she also leads whole school sing-alongs and provides virtual recordings to support her students and the classroom teachers. Ms. Ann teaches all BMELC students, no matter where their program is located. The program, Music and Movement, was specifically created for our learners. She has formed such a bond with our students. Ms. Ann has become a creative, talented, skilled teacher in working with students with special needs and working with multiple modalities. But tonight is bittersweet in our honoring of Miss Ann as she is moving on, I'm gonna cry. She is moving on from us at the end of this school year to further advance her skills and bring the joy of music to other students. Jisoo, thank you for all you have done for us. We're really going to miss you. So our next honoree is a bit of a surprise. Tonight's Outstanding Leadership Honor goes to an administrator who, over her illustrious career in West Orange, has dedicated herself to supporting the students and staff, not only at Washington Elementary School, but to the district as a whole. The Betty Madalena Early Learning Center's honoree is Miss Marie DeMayo. Ms. DeMeo opened the doors of Washington Elementary School to the staff and students of BMELC in December 2019, when our enrollment numbers began to grow, and the BMELC students needed a second home as we were beyond the capacity at our main site. Ms. DeMeo worked with us to find the rooms we needed to accommodate the district's youngest learners. Since that time, Ms. DeMeo has partnered with the staff and the BMEL principal, me, to ensure that all of BMELC's staff and students were comfortable and felt welcome at their second campus. She is kind, patient, and caring to all of BMELC's students at Washington Elementary School. Ms. DeMeo has made an impact on each and every one of the staff at both BMELC sites, and we are grateful for her friendship and collaboration. Thank you, Ms. DeMeo. Guys. Please join me in welcoming our next presenter, Mrs. Marie DeMeo, principal of Washington Elementary School.
Wow, what a surprise. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to have the partnership of Betty Madalena Elementary School, Early Childhood Elementary School, and Washington School. Thank you again. Okay, the first nominee from Washington School for the Parade of Honors is Logan Granados. Good. Logan won the Essex County Education Association Pride Essay Contest. The topic he wrote about was what my favorite part of the school day is. And he wrote about enjoying math and science lessons. Washington School is very proud of Logan. He is a wonderful young man, and we thank you for honoring him this evening. The next nominee from Washington School for the Parade of Honors is Abigail Merville. Abimael also won the Essex County Education Association Pride Essay Contest. She wrote about, which was very interesting, that her favorite part of the school year is meeting her new teachers and meeting new friends. Washington School is very proud of Abimael, and we thank you for honoring her. She's a wonderful young lady. Okay. It is my pleasure to introduce the next presenter, the principal of Gregory School, Miss Makeda Hewitt.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ms. DeMayo, and congratulations to all the students who've been awarded already. I've seen many Gregory students already honored so far, and I see a lot on the list, and congratulations to all of you. I'm super proud, and I'm super proud of all the other students from other schools, but I have Gregory in my heart, of course. All right, our first person that we are going to honor this evening from Gregory for an outstanding achievement is 5th grader Remy Liskow. All right, congratulations, Remy. All right, Remy is in 5th grade in Miss Bonagor's homeroom, and he has made it to the International Geography Championships this summer that will take place in Vermont. Remy got to this championship this year all from his very own interest in geography, which I'm told from his parents that he fell in love with geography and gained this big interest from his teachers at Gregory School. He participated in the Regional Geography Bee in Connecticut, and he is now a finalist. So we hope to hear how much fun and how much he's learned from this Geography Bee this summer. No matter what happens, he is representing West Orange and Gregory. Super, super proud, and we are very, very honored to have him with us tonight and over the summer in Vermont. Okay, and for our next honoree this evening is for outstanding service, which happens to be one of the bricks to our foundation at Gregory Elementary School, Mrs. Linda Ruggieri. All right, so Mrs. Ruggieri is retiring after a total of 38 years of service as an educator, with 28 years of those taking place within the walls of Gregory Elementary School. Many of her former students are here out in the crowd, and some current. Linda is an exceptional teacher that exudes passion for the subject matter in which she teaches. Her love for the topics that she teaches spills over into her students' interests and knowledge base that can be best described as nothing short of magnificent. Her students create lifelong memories in her classroom that they will never forget and prepare them for their future educational experiences. Linda is also a strong advocate for her fellow colleagues. She is a member of the WOEA Elementary School Committee that focuses on supporting the elementary school teachers and keeping communication alive with administration, instrumental for all of us. It has been an honor to work with you, Mrs. Ruggieri, the past 7 years. I truly wish you would change your mind again. And I want you to all know that Remy's passion for geography happened in Mrs. Ruggieri's class last year, and that's how he got to where he is. All right. Please join me in welcoming our next presenter this evening, Ms. Kimya Jackson, Redwood Elementary School Principal.
Thank you, Ms. Hewitt. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'll be presenting the Outstanding Achievement Award to Mr. Mark Minetti. This year, he is our paraprofessional, but not only our paraprofessional at Redwood School, he is also a kindergarten parent. He is being awarded this award this evening because he created the Go Green Rocket Garden at Redwood School and received a Go Green grant to help fund that Redwood Rocket Garden to tend with his kindergarten club. Unfortunately, he's not here this evening, but I will accept the award for him. And next, I'll be awarding the Outstanding Achievement Award to Mrs. Naomi Minton. Mrs. Naomi Minton is our Redwood PTA Chair of Programming and Events. So she facilitated writing a grant, a STEM grant, and was one of 38 recipients in the entire nation to be granted the Bayer STEM and Family Science Grant that brought us our very first in-person science fair sponsored by our PTA. Thank you, Mrs. Minton. Please join me in welcoming our next presenter this evening, the principal of St. Cloud Elementary School, Mr. Eric Price.
Good evening. Dr. Schoen, thank you for carrying on this tradition. Board of Education, thank you for honoring all these great talented students and faculty. The Irish like to say that the laughter is brightest in the place where the food is good, and that place is the St. Cloud kitchen. We are blessed to have two of the finest chefs in New Jersey who man our kitchen. And like peanut butter and jelly or spaghetti and meatballs, tonight I'm going to recognize them both together. It's Mrs. Dominica Menudo and Mrs. Carmela Santulli. Please come on up. And this is really a family affair because Dominica's sister, Angela Monica, is also a chef at Roosevelt School. And Carmela's son, Anthony Santulli, is a chef here at West Orange High School. These two women have the highest standards I've ever seen in a kitchen. 100% dedication, love, care. Their presentation is beautiful. The service is with a smile. Their pasta is al dente. Their gravy is properly seasoned. They are just full of love, and it comes out in their food. They are the first to arrive at St. Cloud School every day in preparation for over 300 kids each and every day that they feed. Not only at St. Cloud, but they also feed the children at Betty Madalena Pre-K. Individualized consideration for each kid. They know the names of their children. They know their diets. They know their allergies. They know what they're eating and what they're not eating. They're encouraging them to get their vegetables in there, eat the salad. A real motherly love for these kids. They make the kitchen welcoming for the staff, being part of the community. They take part in the celebrations of our faculty, and they support us in the struggles of every day. They always prioritize serving the kids, even when life is not easy in their own worlds. Dominica has been with us for 29 years. Carmela has been with us for 16 years. Her son has been with us for over 13 years. And Angela has been with us for over 10 years. So we're talking over 75 years of service to the children of West Orange. And not only do they serve West Orange, but during Snowmageddon, you guys remember the ice storm when 280 was shut down? They sent a fire truck down to Dominica's house to pick her up in the valley and brought her up to cook here at the high school for the stranded motorists. All heart, all the time, for West Orange. So I just like to bring them on up. We just love them from the bottom of our hearts. We are so appreciative of everything they do, to their families as well, who are committed to the families of West Orange. So come on up, ladies. If you could welcome me in welcoming Mr. Joel Castillo, the principal of Kelly Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone. Kelly Elementary School's outstanding achievement this year goes to two wonderful ladies. The first one is Miss Megan Melia. Miss Megan is the administrative assistant at Kelly Elementary School, but she's really the glue of our building. She keeps us all in one and together. She has an incredible work ethic and a great attitude. She keeps two special drawers in her desk, one for the students when they're having a bad day, that are filled with cute little dolls where they can come, forget about what their struggles have been. And another one for the teachers and staff where there's chocolate. And everyone sometimes needs a little piece of chocolate. She faces each situation with the idea of what is best for the student. I am so grateful to have you supporting our office and school. Please join me again in congratulating Miss Megan. Our next Kelly recipient is an amazing paraprofessional, Miss Brittany Callahan. Ms. Brittany is one of our paraprofessionals for our autistic classes at Kelly Elementary School. She welcomes each day and each student with a smile. She's always there to support her students and her colleagues as well. Brittany goes above and beyond to make each day successful for her students. Please join me again in congratulating Ms. Brittany. Please join me in welcoming the principal of Hazel Elementary School, Ms. Anna Marty.
Good evening. Tonight, something I learned in college has been confirmed. Well, not really tonight, it's every day is confirmed. Someone told me you might be the principal, but you have to know who's really in charge. So I am celebrating tonight the two people who helped me run the school, and Hazel runs beautifully. The first person that we are celebrating for outstanding service is Miss Catherine Lee, our school secretary. Miss Kathy provides exceptional service to our Hazel community. She is the voice you want to hear when you call the school. Anybody who calls our school at the end of that conversation feels better. She's calm, she makes sure that everything's solved, she takes good notes, and she calls them back every single time. Kathy makes everyone feels welcome and supported. Her attention to detail in her work and her dedication surpass all expectations. If Kathy does it, it is done well. She is a treasure to Hazel, and I thank you, Kath, for all you do every day and for putting up with me. And the next key part of the Hazel puzzle, outstanding service, is Mr. Jerry Companion Jr. Mr. Jerry is the glue that keeps all areas of Hazel together. Whenever and wherever there is a need in the school, we can count on Mr. Jerry to make it better. There is no job too big, too small, too challenging. Jerry can handle it. He works harder than anybody, has tremendous work ethic, completes all jobs in a timely manner, and leaves everything better. He's absolutely loved by every single person in our building. Thank you, Jerry, for helping our school run better. Please help me in welcoming our next presenter, Mount Pleasant Elementary School Principal, Ms. Julie DeGiacomo.
Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be here tonight. I loved the red carpet. It made my whole week. I'm here to honor my incredible administrative assistant, Miss Machuca, Madeline Machuca. She's incredible. She's everything you would want in an administrative assistant, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. She's a former Mount Pleasant parent herself, and as a result, Maddie just loves Mount Pleasant, truly, and she goes above and beyond for our entire Mount Pleasant family. She's embraced her position. She speaks Spanish. So many of our Hispanic families are now reaching out daily, and their voices are being heard and with love. So it's incredible, really. Her care and oversight to the day-to-day operations of our building, as well as her foresight at looking ahead to what is needed, makes Ms. Machuca invaluable. She was hired in the pandemic and has proven to be beyond resourceful. As the district would make a pivot, we would zig and zag, and Ms. Machuca would figure out exactly what was needed, and she did it with ease. Whether it was one spreadsheet, two spreadsheets, who were quarantining, tracking, she was on it. She always is. Ms. Machuca found a way to make whatever needed to happen, happen. No matter how many things are going on in the office, she's calm, she's pleasant, she's welcoming, she makes everyone feel respected and good. Everything's falling apart around her, and she's smiling and doing her thing. We're just beyond blessed to have her at Mount Pleasant. So, Maddie, thank you so much. So Maddie's partner in crime is Miss Charles, Idelina Charles, and I'm here to recognize her as well tonight. Miss Charles is no stranger to West Orange. Her husband, Ron, was a former board member, and tonight she gets recognized because she's amazing. And I'm so excited that she's here to get some notoriety. Miss Charles has been the perfect addition to our Mount Pleasant front office. She worked at our school for years, like close to, Italina, how many years? 12? 12 years. And she was a lunch aide while she was raising her beautiful family. And she always said, I think I'd love to be the clerk when that position comes open. So, you know, sure enough, Miss Romano retired, and here we are. Miss Charles is now in our front office, and she understands our community. You know, a parent herself, West Orange resident, she just gets it, and she just makes everyone feel at home. She's pleasant. She's welcoming to all of our visitors. She fields phone calls with care, and our families truly appreciate her responsiveness. She can take something that's going to bubble up and just calm it right down. She's got a magic knack. When there's a student or staff member in need, Miss Charles is quick to assist. She knows our students, she knows our staff, so she really understands what she needs to do. She's also trilingual and is an incredible asset to our Mount Pleasant families. Again, she is the ambassador to so many who do not speak English, and she can embrace you know, the needs very quickly. Miss Charles is organized and can multitask and is willing to learn, and she's just on it. We're so lucky to have her in the front office. So I'm so glad that she's now part of that part of our building. So Italina, thank you so much. I would like to introduce the Edison principal, Mr. Xavier Fitzgerald.
Now, Dr. Schoen, you said I had at least 10 minutes. I thought you were going to cut me short right then and there. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everyone. There we go. Good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and you are your very best. The story goes that some 17 years ago, there was a young man by the name of Kyrie Irving. How many of people have ever heard of Kyrie Irving? So in 2005, they hired this young, strapping 30-year-old vice principal, who's current principal of Roosevelt. They had a staff basketball game against the students. It is my understanding that there was a young man by the name of Kyrie Irving that gave Mr. Hush the business. Tonight, it is my honor to bring Dr. Northcutt up. He is the coach of our Rec League 6th grade basketball team, and he will introduce them and also tell you a little bit about the team. Dr. Northcutt.
Thank you, everybody. Board, thank you. Congratulations to all the award recipients, et cetera. Again, I'm Dr. Jamil Northcutt. I had the privilege of coaching these fine young men here in the front. And one of the things that we wanted to do with this year is to instill confidence in them. There's a quote by Marcus Garvey that says, without confidence, you are twice defeated in the race of life, but with confidence, you won before you've even started. One of the things we wanted them to understand is that, hey, look, you're going to practice. You're going to always practice more than you play. But through practice, working hard, being disciplined, staying focused, you can win. Don't get it twisted. Win is important to me. And I wanted to make sure that winning was important to the young men that we had. So we had an 11-1 record. We won our Suburban League championship. We couldn't have done it all by ourselves and me by myself. There's a few people in the crowd that I do want to acknowledge. Lauren Forrest, who's here, who's one of the dads and the coach, who's one of the coaches. Jay Jenkins, who's in the audience as well. Jay, raise your hand. We have head coach of the high school team, Damon Cowens. And I don't know if Edwin Johnson was able to make it, but he runs our recreational department sports leagues, and he was a very valuable asset to us to kind of help us on our journey. So I'm done with talking because I wasn't the one that was out there playing. So these guys are the ones that are here to get this award, and they've earned the right to be on the stage tonight. So congratulations to the team and all your accomplishments. So if you would, come to the stage as I call you guys' names.
Would you mind doing it alphabetical order? So you're gonna do it just down, down, down.
All right, alphabetical order. We're in an academic environment. Jonah Bradley. Josh Canton is not here with us, but Josh Canton, you can give him a round of applause, please. Braden Dawes. Zane Forrest. Kadeo Gibson Wilson. Jaden Jenkins. Josh Maddox. Miles Malloy. Jaden Mosley. Garson Narr. Kellen Northcutt. Alex Smith. Christopher Smith. Those guys couldn't be with us tonight. They have a baseball game. Jamison Valles. And Caden Waller. Congratulations, gentlemen, on your achievement, and thanks to the parents for your support and commitment.
And much to hush, we may have the next Kyrie Irving on this stage. There's a saying that you never judge someone until you walk a mile in their shoes. The next person that I'd like to bring to the stage is my school nurse, Miss Elizabeth Ramos. Ms. Ramos and I have worked together now for 13 years. In 1990, I started as a school bus aide. I went on to become a preschool paraprofessional. Yes, for some of you that don't believe that, I actually was. I went on to become a substitute teacher and then on to teach 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in those 32 years. The job of school nurse is like none other. When you're dealing with COVID, there's a whole bunch of rules and regulations that you have to follow. And, you know, there are times when in the first 11 years, the only communication myself and Ms. Ramos would have is she would bring me this report that said who was vaccinated or who was inoculated and who wasn't, the immunization records. And she would tell me by November, we have to exclude these students by law. Cool, no problem. The last 2 years, every day, she's been in my office about close contact, about regulations, about things that make our students safe. Now, do we butt heads? Of course we do. Who doesn't? If you see that woman every day, after a while it just becomes a running joke. They say, Ms. Ramos wants to see you, Mr. Fitzgerald. I was like, what does she want? Now, who do I have to put out the school? Because I really don't want to do that. But There was one particular situation that we had to deal with this year where I knew that there was a job in school or in education that I do not want. It was an hour that I had to spend in her office. He had to go to Washington because the nurse was out, and they had a diabetic child, so she had to go and give the medicine for that diabetic child. Not too much scares me when it comes to education, but I think my stomach was in knots. Within the first 15 minutes, there were about 10 kids that came to that office about needing various things. And there was just one situation, won't go into quite detail, but it had to deal with a young lady who needed some products that I could not imagine at that point in time. Ms. Ramos, where are you and when are you coming back? Because I need you here now. I don't care what's happening at Washington. I was scared, but after I left her office, I went back to my office and I reflected and I said, that's her job each and every day, that she's done fabulously for the past 13 years. So it is my honor to recognize Ms. Elizabeth Ramos for the 13 years of service that she's given Edison Middle School. And she really doesn't like the spotlight. There is someone else that I'd like to recognize. Unfortunately, he's not here. He's one of those cogs in the machine that makes things work. It's my head custodian, Mr. Gio Velaz. Unfortunately, he's on vacation. He was not able to make tonight's presentation, but we will give his certificate to him when he returns. Thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to present and bring to the stage Mr. Robert Klimt, principal of Liberty Middle School.
First, good evening and congrats to all the recipients. It is with great pleasure I will recognize Liberty's outstanding achievement and service to my counselors. Please join me at the podium. 7th grade counselor Lauren Volpe and 8th grade counselor Stephanie Nesbitt. And then I'll come all the way up here, right here. Be in a spotlight. So as I thought about this tonight's recognition and then reflect on this past year, the range of challenges, there kind of was a clear and simple answer to this night's challenge. Our counselors, a day in the life of a counselor. Both professionals are committed to our students, their caseload of students, beyond their caseload of students, to their overall wellness, and placed unending time and energy to support their students. So again, if you know the day in life of a counselor, that could range from managing small group counseling sessions, walk-in crisis situations, virtual parent conferences, dealing with the academic counseling needs, preparing for state testing. And yes, we have our sights set on next year with Ms. Nesbitt already completed the high school piece and Ms. Volpe working on our other piece now. So again, their careful planning, outstanding time management, and calm and confident nature led to an easy selection as Liberty's recipients of tonight's honor. Congratulations, ladies. Let's welcome to the stage our next presenter, Mr. Lionel Hush, Roosevelt Middle School principal.
First, like to say I appreciate Mr. Fitzgerald for calling me strapping
when I was first hired here, so thank you. However, some other things in his statement were untrue, as the Roosevelt staff is actually undefeated in any type of basketball we've played, and the only beatdowns that were delivered were the 2 times that the Edison staff came and tried to play the Roosevelt staff, in which case they soon learned that was a mistake. Thank you. Now for why we're really here. First individual I would like to honor is Ms. Grace Moran. Grace has been an integral part of Roosevelt Middle School's student council and in forwarding our initiatives this year. These initiatives have been to help make the transition back to in-person learning easier by creating safe, socializing opportunities for our student population, and to also help our community at large by creating free community food pantries and having them at different schools in the town to provide easy access to anyone in need. Grace took the lead as the student council's media specialist by creating all the advertisements for the fundraisers and activities planned throughout the year. She was a crucial part of creating, planning, and organizing all of our new and improved student council activities and all of our fundraisers. Grace has devoted more time to ensure our events were successful more than any other member of the council by sacrificing a lot of her free time that called to these causes without even being asked. Not only did she diligently take on these duties, but out of the goodness of her heart, she was constantly checking on what more she could do. She also led the way in our Teens for Teens initiative, ensuring teens across our area had a chance to get an age-appropriate gift over the holiday season. When Grace isn't working with student council, she could be found tutoring students who need help, as well as tailoring wardrobe for our actors in the school play. She has truly demonstrated the ability to balance being the best person that she can be while making her school and community a better place. Through her efforts, along with our student council members, we are proud to say we now have a food pantry at both Roosevelt Middle School and Hazel Elementary School for families in need. Future efforts will place a pantry between the West Orange High School and Kelly Elementary School as well. For her above and beyond commitment to school and community, I have chosen to recognize Ms. Grace Moran. Next individual I'd like to honor is Paige Ulrich. Paige is keenly aware of societal issues impacting the globe and is conscious of how this trickles down into her local community of peers at Roosevelt. She demonstrated her passion and determination to address these issues in a safe and inclusive environment for all students at Roosevelt through her leadership in developing and launching a new club titled SAY this spring with 4 other 7th grade students, Grace and Megan Moran included. SAY is an acronym for Sexism Awareness Youth, and its mission as a student club is to bring awareness to the issues young women face in school settings and empower all people to contribute to creating safe spaces of diverse people committed to ending sexism in our school community. Her maturity and care for her community is evident in the uniting, uplifting, and encouraging ideas she has contributed. Paige is an excellent role model and peer leader for the Roosevelt school community. Multi-talented as well, previously performed with the Paper Mill Playhouse and with the Surflight Theater in Beach Haven, New Jersey. Paige also starred in our school musical, Annie Jr., in the lead role of Annie. Paige's stage presence and lovely voice delivered a commanding performance in front of over 750 spectators in the 3-day production. For her dedication and impact to our school community, I have chosen to recognize Ms. Paige Ulrich. Now, please welcome me and bring to the stage the principal of this here West Orange High School, Mr. Hayden Moore.
Good evening, everyone. Just a quick congratulations to all the recipients. Congratulations. It's a pleasure to be here tonight and to honor you. It's well deserved. This is a terrific community. And I'm glad that our Board of Ed and our superintendent has the forethinking to honor many members of this academic and educational community. So thank you, Dr. Schoen. Thank you, President Tunnicliffe. It's the first time I'm doing this, so get it on tape. I figured. Tonight, our first recipient is West Orange High School sophomore, Marvin Phillips. Come on up, Marvin. Marvin recently participated in the Hazel Avenue Unity Road Mural Project on April 30th at West Orange Street Art Event. According to his teacher, Ms. Krulik, Marvin was the only student to come back a second day to assist with finishing the mural. The professional artist that worked with our students was so impressed with Marvin's drive and work ethic that he offered him a summer job. Marvin continues to show his true leadership and teamwork right here at West Orange High School. In Ms. Krulik's urban art class, Marvin's participation is second to none. His work ethic and his talent has led to other students seeking advice on how to improve their art. He's even stepped up to teach the entire class how to use an industry standard professional computer art program that has helped all students in the urban art classes upgrade their art pieces and complete advanced level assignments. So thank you, Marvin, for your outstanding work ethic and your leadership. It brings us great pleasure to honor you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvin Phillips. Our next recipient is one of our art teachers, Ms. Nicole Krulik. Nicole, please join me on stage. Ms. Krulik's commitment, passion, drive, and creativity with all our students has been a vital as well as an inspirational to the culture and climate of our school community. Just this year alone, Ms. Krulik worked on the Dream Memorial, which is located on the second floor of the Tarnoff building. And Ms. Krulik worked on the Unity Memorial, which is located in the Hazel Avenue community. Both murals have had a positive impact on our students and the West Orange community at large. Ms. Krulik is the type of teacher who supports and cultivates our students' artistic abilities, and throughout her tenure, Ms. Krulik has worked on multiple mural projects and brought a strong sense of awareness to our students about public art and the powerful impact it can have on any community. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you West Orange High School's very own and beloved Miss Nicole Krulik.
While that concludes this evening, of all of the districts I've ever been in, I've never been part of it. It's awesome. So congratulations to everyone. Just two more pieces of recognition before the board recesses, just for 5 minutes, for the opportunity for people to leave. If you want to, you're certainly welcome to stay for the remainder of our board meeting. I want to acknowledge Cynthia Cumming, our communications coordinator for all of our pictures. Please stand, Cynthia. And while Mike Housel is not here, he is the head custodian for the high school. All of this is a result of his unilateral efforts. So I want to say thank you very much. It looks awesome. To all the recipients, it was our honor on behalf of the Board of Education to honor you. You are so worthy of everything you've received. So we're going to take 5 minutes and we'll reconvene at 9:15. So thank you, everyone.
can't really start till the rest of the board gets back, right?
It just hit. Oh my God. You guys gotta go radio silent soon, I'm telling you. Jess. Yeah, that's you. Oh, that's you. I was like, okay.
Huerta, port to the,
No, so
oh, here
on.
she comes. Is that her? Ms. Huerta? Please report to the dais. Ms. Huerta? I don't know, I thought that was her, but maybe it's not her. Ms. Huerta? Please report to the dais. All right. Thank you, Dr. Schoen, for the presentation of your superintendent's report and this wonderful parade of honors that we just had. Do we have any committee reports this evening? Okay, seeing none. Next, we'll have questions from the public on agenda items only, please. Any community member who would like to make comments or ask questions, please come to the podium, the mic over here at this time. Please state your name and home address for the record and then begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. If any members of the public, you can come up now.
Good evening. My name is Alan LaFontaine, 16 Kensal Lane, West Orange, New Jersey. Last week on May the 23rd, my wife attended the board meeting in regard to speaking to some racial inequities that were happening at Liberty School. As a parent, it's a common place to be advocates for our children.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is on agenda items only for public comment. There will be another opportunity that you can speak on other items that are not on the agenda. Okay, you can come up at that time, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Flowers. Moving on to our resolutions, I would like to have a motion to approve the personnel items A1 through A5.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta. Any discussion?
Retirements?
Sure, would you like to note them?
No, you could go ahead.
Oh.
I'm just reminding.
Okay, we have a few retirements coming up. So we have Glenn Wennick of Kelly, who's our custodian mid-shift, who is retiring after 36 years of service to the district. So we wish him very much well in his retirement. And we also have Lisa O'Kyle, retiring after 17 years in the district. This is a Kelly paraprofessional, so we thank her for this service to the district. Okay. Okay, so seeing none, Ms. Flowers, could you take the roll call?
Mrs. Huerta?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein?
Yes.
President Tunnicliffe?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to have a motion to approve the curriculum and instruction items B1 and B2.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Ms. Vice President Rothstein. Any discussion? No? Okay. Seeing none, Ms. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Mrs. Huerta?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein?
Yes.
President Tunnicliffe?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, would I please get a motion to approve the finance items, C, special services items 1 through 2, and business office items 1 through 12?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta. A second?
Yes, seconded.
Thank you, Vice President Rothstein. Any discussion? No? Okay. Seeing none, Ms. Flowers, you can take the roll call.
Mrs. Huerta?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein?
Yes.
President Tunnicliffe?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flowers. Okay, next up we have, thank you all, first thanks all to my board colleagues. And next up we have petitions and hearings of citizens on agenda or non-agenda items that you wish to discuss. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please approach the podium at this time and state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
All right, we'll try this one more time. Alan LaFontaine, 16 Kendall Lane. And 2 weeks ago, on the 23rd of May, my wife attended a board meeting to address some instances of racial inequities at Liberty School that concerned our son. Obviously, as parents in the school district, we're always our first advocates for our child. Unfortunately, since the 2 weeks have occurred, there's been no closing of the loop for the parents, no closing of the loop for the students on exactly what are the next steps to rid some of these inequities that are going on in the school. I'm a big proponent of being an advocate, and if you're not an advocate, to be an ally, to use your voice. And it seems as if the parents' voices may not have been loud enough 2 weeks ago. So tonight, my son wants to be his own advocate. It's unfortunate that a 14-year-old needs to already address the school board about inequities going on in the school. But this is the world that we live in. So I'd like to introduce my son, Julian LaFontaine.
Good evening. My name is Julian LaFontaine. I live at 16 Kendall Lane, and I would like to share an ELA assignment I wrote on transitioning from the 8th grade to high school. Good evening, students and staff and the board. Now I feel when the school year comes to an end, it is good to look back and reflect on the good and bad so we can learn and improve, because that's what school is about. Learning and growing, not just as students, but also as people. For me especially, growing more into the person I want to be. I feel like this school year has made me transition into a whole different person. The word transition is a noun. It is the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. This has been a very interesting experience for me coming back from a pandemic, but I feel like a lot of transitioning has happened for me. But a lot of that has come from some of the things me and my fellow African American peers have gone through this year. The lack of care and cultural awareness toward African American students in some instances at Liberty has been heartbreaking and frustrating. In one instance, me and a fellow student, one of my best friends, were messing around and the teacher screamed at us and made us go to the office. The same thing in front of that teacher and nothing happened. No getting screamed at, no getting sent to the office, nothing. I thought to myself, is it because of the color of my skin and that student's skin, or my braids at the time, or his sharp haircut? Was this teacher being racist and unfair? I told my parents and they called the school. The school reassures us that the teacher is not racist and has never heard that she acts like this before. This was not the only incident. Later in the year, the teacher was heard saying nigger in front of students. They also commented on a black student's dread preventing him from hearing. When she said this, I felt uncomfortable because I also had braids at the time. This confirmed my suspicion about her being racist, but I remained quiet. What finally set me over the edge was when I had a sign passed to be late to class, but the teacher did not care. She yelled at me in front of the whole class and said I was grounded from leaving. It was unprofessional and seemed racially motivated. When I went to talk to administration for help, they said no one else has come for them about this teacher being racist, so they couldn't help me. I was shocked. If a teacher was abusing a student when multiple students had to report them for something to be done, I felt let down and abandoned. Eventually, I got moved from the class, but did not solve the problem. Another major incident from the school year was with a couple of my African-American friends. Two teachers accused them of having edibles, and one said that they should share them since they quote-unquote knew that they had them. This same teacher decided to say a mixed girl, who she assumed was white, are these young black boys restraining you as a young white woman? This was wrong of her for assuming that girl's ethnicity, and it was inappropriate to be said in the classroom and in general. I know that in this speech we were supposed to talk about our quote-unquote transitioning, but these events contributed to my transitioning. They made me into a better student advocate and more aware of my surroundings. I wanted to reflect on the past to fix our future, and these things have to be addressed to fix them, no matter how uncomfortable it is to talk about. There were a lot of positives to this year too, though. Like the friends I made this year, I'm sure will last a lifetime. Some of the lessons taught will never be forgotten. As hip-hop artist Kendrick Lamar says, we are all human at the end of the day, making mistakes, but learning from them is the key. I feel like the key to transitioning is learning from our mistakes and doing our best to fix them next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Rebecca Swan Jackson. I live at 1 Cecil Lane Place. So during the 2019-2020 school year, the district's Diversity, Equity, and Access Committee worked on a survey that would be administered to teachers across the district. The intention of this survey was to understand the school community's perspectives and experiences related to diversity, equity, access, and inclusion in our schools. These data were to be used to learn about the present climate of school in our district, inform current practices and professional development. In addition, they were to provide feedback on the 2019-2020 BOE approved goals. The survey was administered in February 2020, just prior to the coronavirus pandemic. And the original intention was to reassess at the end of the year in order to measure change. I understand that the complications of the pandemic required a necessary pivot, a pivot that our school district successfully accomplished. But as we return to business as usual, and concerning the experiences of the 8th grade students I care about, I urge the board and the district to review these baseline data and develop a plan to address biases that are not in line with building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive school environment in our school district. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Jordan Jackson, and it's 34 Sunnyside Road. I had the same assignment as Julian. Good evening, students, staff, and board members. In this language arts assignment, we're supposed to talk about our transition to high school, but a lot of my transitioning has come from the negative experience I've had as an African-American student at Liberty. One of the 3 experiences I will be talking about is when a teacher called a student monkey because he answered a question wrong. This was very unprofessional and made me feel uncomfortable. It was obviously said because of the color of his skin. When other kids get a question wrong, she gave them multiple chances to try again. I went to the administration twice to talk about the same encounterment, and he said he would do something, but nothing was done. The second experience is when I was given a 70 and a white student got 100. I cross-checked my answers and only got 2 questions wrong. But when I went to talk to her about it, she said it was because of my quote-unquote behavior and wouldn't change my grade, even though she knew it should be an 80. Lastly, as previously read, the situation from Julian, the teacher said that we had edibles and we should share because we quote-unquote knew them. And restraining a young white woman, I felt targeted and it was very unprofessional. I felt that I couldn't do anything because I would have been penalized being me of a student and her teacher and the authority difference between us. What made it worse is after I told my dad and he said he wanted to have a meeting with the teacher, She yelled at me in front of the whole class, asking why my dad even wanted to see her. She then got extremely aggravated in front of the whole class, which in itself was concerning. She began to mess up the classroom, throwing everything around and making comments to the movie. She said the comments like when they said it wasn't fair, how it's not fair that people think she's racist, and just to go on about how she isn't, which was a contradictory to her actions at the point in time. Finally, this was all very unprofessional and made me, along with most of the students in the class, very uncomfortable. These experiences have made me more knowledgeable as a person on how to advocate for myself and call out bigotry when I witness it. While I hope I won't experience anything like this at the point high school next year, these experiences have made me contributed to my transitioning and made me better prepared for high school.
Thank you.
Hi, Board. My name is Stacy LaFontaine, 16 Kensal Lane. I obviously spoke to many of you, and I first of all want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to me even after the meeting that we had on May 23rd. Clearly, after hearing my son and his peers, and there were more because I spoke to several other students as families, and I start to understand that there are little pieces of the puzzle that we're starting to put together that is creating, or for us to see, a grander issue. So it started with maybe hearing a little story there, hearing another story over there, and hearing another story over there. But ultimately, the stories all had an underlining common denominator, which is that we have a problem in West Orange, at Liberty School, and I don't know about if it's the full district, but I do know as a parent, I am very concerned. West Orange is supposed to be about community. Most of us moved to this town because of its diversity, and to hear that these teachers, who are educators, which I am an educator too, are treating these children of color in ways in which is unacceptable by any measure, there has to be something done. We hold children accountable as they are learning and growing through the process of just understanding life. I am asking the adults to hold adults accountable for their actions, for the way they've been treating these students. I've asked the principal to investigate not just the students who are having troubles at the school and making threats, investigate the teachers that they are referencing. They should not be in a position of authority over any children. We're talking about how children of color are being impacted. Don't you realize it affects the entire community? The white community, different cultures, different religion, it impacts them all. So when he hears that his friend who is white had a 100, but then his grade was a 70, even though the teacher admitted it should have been an 80, what does that teach them? I'm asking you to look into the issues that we are having regarding equality, because we're going to continue to come and our audience is going to continue to be larger until we all understand that this is a problem for our community, not just the children who are Black. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Lamont Jackson, 34 Sunnyside Road. I'm also a teacher and a coach here in West Orange. To those that are watching or will see this, I received a ton of emails. I shouldn't say a ton, a handful of emails after I spoke last meeting. Just some encouragement, but some teachers that have been here a very long time and kind of understood what was going on. I know we referenced or heard about the survey of the teachers and educators, and we want to continue to obviously advocate for our children. One of the things that I thought about is how powerful this afternoon was, or this evening was, before we're standing here, and just looking at how excited these children were and the changes that we can affect in their lives just them being called up on stage, them being acknowledged, but also how detrimental what has happened to our children could also play a role. I grew up in the Bronx, and my parents sent us out to school in Yonkers, I guess thinking that we would have a better experience. And if you know anything about the late 70s in Yonkers compared to the Bronx, it wasn't a great experience. And then we moved from the Bronx down to Lakewood, New Jersey. And then coming from New York down there, you know, they wanted a better experience for us, and it was decent. You know, I fell in love with track and field there, fell in love with coaching, and eventually ended up coming up here, going to Seton Hall University. And here in this community, as I started in the South Orange Maplewood community. But we are here, and the students are here. The students that I walk past every day in the hallways, their parents are sacrificing for them to be in this town for a reason. And we want to make sure that everybody understands that while we are here and will continue to be here, that we're going to continue to advocate. When you guys get here to the high school, I'm looking forward to seeing you grow and thrive and continue to know that you have advocates, both Black and white, here in this building, and know that you're going to be embraced. And to the few of my colleagues that weren't pleased that I got up to talk, because there were some rumblings, come have a conversation with me, because you not being pleased that I got up and spoke in the content of what I said, you know, I'd love to have a conversation with you. And lastly, our year one experience, you know, 5 years ago when I first started teaching here, one of the things that I think Lionel Hush, they got all of the teachers, first year one teachers on the bus and took us around the community to see all of the schools and kind of explain just the different layouts. I think that the one thing that we should do is start with that, take the teachers around the beginning, really talk about, you know, the communities around those schools, so that as we're hiring and bringing individuals in, they know what they're, because this is what we sign up for. You know, you sign up to run for the Board of Ed, and we sign up to teach and encourage these students. And so we want to continue to bring teachers here to this district that are going to advocate for all of their students and treat them with love and respect. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. Rashiba Stevenson, 27 Cliff Street. I'm here as a neighbor and a concerned parent. My husband and I have 2 children here in the district and elementary school. Up a little late tonight. And I have to say, I'm deeply disturbed by what's happened here. These incidents that our young people are experiencing, it hurts my heart. That these things are coming not from their peers, not from strangers, not from outside assailants, but from their teachers, the very people that we tell them to trust and to respect, right, from the very beginning. And I've heard and I've listened to tonight our young people's heartbreaking testimonies of how they have felt humiliated and degraded in a place that should feel safe, their school. At the last board meeting, when I listened to parents speak about their experiences and advocate for their children, I was brought to tears. When I took the time to listen to the stories of the students themselves, I felt their pain. When I look into their faces, I see the faces of my own children. I have sat where they sit, and as I think about how our own 2 boys will have to quickly learn to advocate for themselves in this world, as adorable as they are, their age and their innocence will not insulate them from ignorance. And we're teaching them that very early, right? So I asked one student, how do you feel when you walk into school each day? And he said, like, you know something is going to happen. These children are speaking about their fear, again, not from someone from the outside, but from their teachers who they should trust. Who should have to endure that every day? When listening to their stories, I've listened to their pain, witnessed their resilience, but also their joy, their brilliance, that even as they navigate an environment that does not always affirm and celebrate who they are, the fullness of who they are, that they continue on, right? No student, though, should have to be resilient at school. No student should have to cope with racism at school. And no student should have to wonder if their teacher that day will openly promote negative stereotypes, racial slurs, or erode their emotional well-being at school. School should be a place of refuge. And if the pandemic and the calls to racial justice the past few years were not enough to make their wellness a priority, then I don't know what is. Just as all of our children deserve to be physically safe when they walk into school each day,
they also deserve to be emotionally safe. It is our job to protect them from harm, not cause harm. And I've spent my entire career, as my husband has, supporting spaces for young people to learn, to grow, and thrive, advocating for the amplification of their voices, their experiences, even the ones that we don't want to hear. And I'm committed to leaning into that advocacy now in my own backyard. We cannot afford to be silent. To be clear, there are some educators who work hard to actively support and affirm our young people, but we must ask ourselves, what is the culture and climate of our schools? What about the school environment that has emboldened these individuals to act so casually and openly degrade our children without any fear of being held accountable? So I implore the board and members of the community to take every measure to hold everyone, even teachers, especially teachers, accountable for their words and actions. What we choose to do matters. Our children are watching. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Jasmine Prime. I live at 9 Trump Place. And I just wanted to quickly talk about what I've witnessed as a student at Liberty Middle School. I've noticed what feels like a lack of training in how to handle situations with students involving racism or what can be perceived as racism. As my friends have discussed and other experiences I've heard from other people, a lot of the staff at our school don't know how to discuss it with students or work through problems involving race, especially with students of a different race. And obviously I'm not a professional, so I don't know if this is like a lack of training or what, but I think that there should be more discussions amongst staff, administrators, teachers about how to handle students that feel that they are experiencing racism in a school environment, because that's, in my opinion, unacceptable. Every student, Black, white, Asian, any race, ethnicity, should feel welcome in school, because it's really just about learning and having fun and being with your peers, and you shouldn't have to worry about experiencing bigotry or racism in what's supposed to be a safe environment. And a lot of the experiences that my friends have shared are upsetting to listen to for me, and I'm sure they are for you as educators yourself. And so I hope that something can be done on your part, on school's parts. And I'm a member of student council at my school myself, and just sitting in and listening to conversations amongst my peers, like I can see that there's a clear lack of understanding among students of a different race. And I hope that we can, as a community, come together and find a way to solve that issue and really have a good discussion on racism and how to solve issues like that in our community, not only the school community, but West Orange as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay.
Nick, can everybody hear me? So typically I'm not speechless, but I am always honest. We clearly have something going on, and it needs to be corrected yesterday. I would love the opportunity to meet personally, with your permission, with Julian and Jordan. You can certainly be there and be one-on-one. We can certainly talk about that. I'd like to have that. It's a little bit different being in a microphone in a board meeting. The young lady who just spoke, Jasmine, what was your first name? Jasmine. Jasmine, can you stand up for 1 second? With your permission, I'd like the opportunity to meet with your student council so that I can hear directly from students, right? And as much as parents can advocate, and I want them to. You are all certainly articulate enough and intelligent enough to talk to me about something that I clearly need to understand better and work together to fix. If we keep doing what we've always done, we will always get what we've always gotten. And whatever it is that we are doing right now, to the extent I don't know all the ins and the outs, I need to figure out, because it is my job to well inform this board, and it is my job to move forward in a direction that's going to make a change. So now it's not just talk, right? Now it needs to be action. And in order for me to understand that, I need to sit and talk to all of you. And I know that that's atypical of a superintendent, but I think I need to understand a little bit more than I do. And so with the permission of your parents, I'd like the opportunity to do that. My pleasure. I will be in touch with you tomorrow. Okay? I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know there were any more comments.
My name is Alan Reeder. I was a 24-year West Orange teacher at the high school, at Edison, at Roosevelt. Recently retired, but back for a short leave replacement at West Orange High School. And I think dialogue is an excellent idea, and I think it really does. It's the step one towards kind of resolving or at least addressing these issues. But there was one particular thing that has come up in recent weeks that I think I have no choice but to speak about, and I'm just going to read. I'm here because I cannot sit by while my colleague and friend is being defamed. Robin Sweeney, whose name was mentioned from this floor at a previous meeting, has worked in this district for over 20 years, 22 years, I believe, has a well-earned reputation as a creative, caring, and dedicated teacher. It was recently brought to my attention that she has been subject to accusations of racism and cultural insensitivity based on a U.S. history lesson regarding the economics of cotton, the development of the cotton gin, and the concurrent acceleration in the demand for chattel slavery. Now, this lesson has been around for, I believe Robin has been doing it for a long, long time. It's been given excellent reviews in the past. We're all aware of it. And we all have made an effort, I think, in teaching U.S. history to center the African American